Let us pray. Almighty God, the creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our actions, so that we always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria in general and Lagos State in particular. Amen. Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. You are all welcome to today's session. Let us go through the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 24th June 2021. Ojú ìwé kọkàndínlọ́tàlélọ́ọ̀ọ́dúnrún aṣòfin Ọ̀ṣun.
Ẹ ṣe olórí mo kí àwọn ẹlẹgbẹ́ mi ní ìgbà ìjókòó gbẹ̀yìn tá a ṣe kẹ́yìn olórí ẹgbẹ́ ṣe lẹ́kọ́ àwọn mẹ́ta kan lọ síbi tí a ti lọ ṣe iṣẹ́ kan bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ìgbókò adéyọ̀ náà tó bá
Àkọ́bí àgbẹ̀jọ ṣe àtúnṣe Ọ̀ṣun, Ògúndìmú àti Àkàndé. Ó ojú ìwé ọ̀tàlélọ́ọ̀ọ́dúnrún. Ojú ìwé kọkànlélọ́ọ̀ọ́dúnrún. I have examined the fruits and proceedings of Thursday, 24 June 2021, and approval is here granted. Any message from the governor?
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. Distinguished honorable members, there is no message from the governor.
Any other announcement?
Yes, sir. We have 3 letters. One, with your kind permission, I read, sir. One is from Honorable H.O. Shokune, Chairman, House Committee on Health, inviting the Right Honorable Speaker, Principal Officers, and distinguished honorable members to a public hearing on a bill for a law to establish Lagos State Organ Harvest and Transplantation 2020 on Wednesday, 30th June 2021 at the Pavilion Assembly Complex, LSHA, Ikeja, at 10 a.m. prompt. Thank you. Signed, Honorable H.O. Shokule, Chairman, Committee on Health. Sir, we also received a letter dated 24th June 2021 addressed to the Right Honorable Speaker, titled Lagos State University of Education Bill 2021. The above reverse, please. Further to the approval of the State Executive Council at a meeting held on Monday, 31st May 2021, Mr. Governor has directed that the Lagos State University of Education Bill 2021 be presented on the floor, be forwarded to the House of Assembly for consideration and enactment into law. Please accept the assurances of our warmest regards. Signed, Mr. Amoyesore Onigbanjo, SAN, Attorney General, Commissioner for Justice. Also, sir, there is also another letter dated 24th June 2021, also addressed to the Right Honorable Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, titled Lagos State University of Science and Technology Bill 2021. Therefore, above refer, please. Further to the approval of the State Executive Council at a meeting held on Monday, 31st May 2021, Mr. Governor has directed that the Lagos State University of Science and Technology Bill 2021 presented on the floor be forwarded to the House of Assembly for consideration and enactment into law. Please accept the assurances of our warmest regards. Signed, Mr. Amoyesore Onigbanjo, SAN, Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. That is all, sir. Thank you very much.
Petition?
None, sir.
Matter of other public importance? None. Personal explanations? Reports? None. Business of the day, Majority Leader.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. The first item on the right for today is a motion, House of Assembly motion number 31, for a call on the state government to ensure the smooth operation of courier and logistics services within the state. The prime mover of the motion is Honorable Adewale T.A. Other members that support the motion, myself, Honorable Adams, Honorable Miranda M.L., Honorable Sani G.B.O., Honorable Lowo R.E., Honorable Majid F.A., Honorable Oshun M.O., Engineer Yishao G.O.B., Honorable Shola Jasaka, Honorable Kasumu A.R., Honorable Rauf O.A., Honorable Tijani S.O. Mr. Speaker, the prime mover is no longer around, but I spoke with him and he gave me the instruction that a member of his committee, Honorable Sani G.B.O., should move the motion on his behalf. So, Mr. Speaker, I seek your indulgence to call on Honorable Sani G.B.O. Koshofe 1 to move the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sani.
you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. Good afternoon. Call on the state government to ensure the smooth operation of courier and logistics services within the state. This House notes the enactment of the Transport Sector Reform Law 2018, other regulations and the proposed amendment in 2021 to regulate the operational activities of courier and logistic companies in the state. Further notes that the regulation of courier and logistic operations was in line with the Nigeria Postal Service Act 1992, Transport Sector Reforms Law, TSRL 2018. Guidelines given by the state government, the subsisting government restriction order on motorcycles and tricycles in 6 local government and 9 local council development areas, 11 highways and 41 bridges in Lagos State. Is aware that these laws and restriction order exempted the operation of mail distribution and courier services, and that every logistics company operator must obtain a NIPOST approval, a written permission of the Ministry of Transportation as stated in the Schedule 1 of the TSRL 2018, which require documents such as allocation of plate number form, proof of ownership, pre-registration, inspection certificate, roadworthiness certificate, insurance policy comprehensive, vehicle license, auto permit and stage carriage, approval to operate mail distribution and courier services from the state and LSHA branding permit. He is concerned about the complaints of courier and logistic companies within the state, the multiple revenue collection by officials of local government and local council development areas, as well as the spiking rates of harassment of their riders by extortionists, such as enforcement agents and sometimes touts are greatly militating against the survival of the business in the state. It's further concerned that these officials and touts, usually without any means of identification, impound the operation bikes used for mail distribution and courier services on a daily basis and demand illegal payments of fees for documents already obtained from the necessary authorities in the state. Recognizes the need to ensure smooth operation of courier and logistics services within the state once they have complied with the terms and guidelines of the state government in the discharge of the activity, as well as stopping their harassment on the roads, and further recognizes the need to ensure that all payable and legitimate fees due to the state and local governments and local council development areas to operate courier and logistics businesses within the state are obtained through a central point or with the help of consultants. This House resolves to call on Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State, to direct the Commissioner for 1. Transportation and other relevant agencies to ensure that riders of courier and logistics services are not harassed by extortionists and touts in the discharge of their activities once they have complied with the terms and guidelines initiated by the state government. 2. Local government and community affairs to look into the allegation of extortion, harassment of riders of courier and logistics services, amongst others, by touts allegedly working for local government and local council development areas in the state. 3. Information and strategy to enlighten operators of logistics services, local governments and local council development areas executives on relevant provisions of extant laws regulating courier and logistics services in the state, warn against the use of touts for revenue collection from the operators and emphasize the need to encourage logistics and courier business to boost the economy and provide employment in the state. And 4, the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, to ensure that extortionists and touts hindering each free operation of courier and logistics services are apprehended and made to face the wrath of the law. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the motion.
All in favor say aye. Those against no. The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, members. Mr. Speaker, this is a very timely motion which will receive the commendation of the public. Mr. Speaker, I will add to this. It is not the courier and logistic operation alone in the state. The local government, the attitude of constituting another task force within the local government is serving as an embarrassment and hardship for the people. Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry to say this. There was a particular local government that I need to call the aid to one of the honorable here. When these touts apprehended the rider, this courier service rider, they apprehended the man need to get to me, and I phoned. The first thing I said, please give the phone to the officials. When he collected the phone, in fact, the way he spoke and the language, especially his language, they said to Ghana, as I'm a pen, not less of it. You know, Emma Bushing now, how much? The man demanded 70,000 naira. I said, what did the man carry? He said, he's prohibited kind of service. I said, when did you turn to custom service or immigration? That you have to be demanding for this? You have never opened the box of the man and say he's carrying an estate. So I need to call the aid of an honorable here that has to intervene. There's another one has served as an embarrassment to state government. We have seen where even the operator took some local government to the court and they won. But when they appealed, the local government denied that they were not working for them because there was no means of identification. Mr. Speaker, I think it's the right time to put a stop for this kind of an embarrassment to an individual, collective of individual, the local government and the state government, and the citizen of Lagos State. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, this is a very good bill indeed, addressing things that happen within the state, particularly as affecting the business of logistics and courier services. Mr. Speaker, courier services and logistics services are a new happening in the state and increasing by the day. It helps people in different business formations to interact effectively with their prospective customers. You can stay in your office and goods bought online delivered onto you through this courier and logistics services. But Mr. Speaker, I therefore say that it's a way of assisting empowerment in the society. It's a way of boosting the economy of the state because business is booming through the various outlets as well as those participating in these services. So it's a form of employment and outreach to people who other way will have been rendered unemployed. So it's a thing that we must guard jealously. The bill is not saying that they should not be regulated. The law of the state, the extant law of the state proceeds that if you want to use motorbikes for business operation, it must not be less than 200 cc. So there's a specification. This specification, provided it is complied with as stated in the law, and they do not ride against traffic, I see no reason why they should be embarrassed. Mr. Speaker, it is not decent for a person, a courier service going from one local government, going through one local government to the other and paying as it goes. It will defeat the business. It will defeat the purpose for which the services are created. And of course, it will make business difficult for people who use them to further their businesses, as reported that some business concerns have complained about these accruing taxes they have to pay going through local government. Mr. Speaker, the bill is also not saying that local government should not collect revenue, but there should be a way to centralize it in such a way that people, if you are coming from Ikorodu to deliver something in Ikeja, or from Ikeja to Ikorodu, whichever way, you have to go through Koshofe. So if you are going through Ikeja and pay revenue, you get to Koshofe, you pay revenue. When you end up in Ikorodu, you pay revenue. How much is the profit on this business transaction that you have to pay as you go? This is what the bill is. This is what this motion is addressing, Mr. Speaker. So the idea has been suggested that they should use consultant. There should be a way to further regulate this new business this business outfit in the state, so that it will not be hazardous to those using it, and the hazardous to those who have been employed to participate in this business transaction. Mr. Speaker, it is a good bill to the extent also that the House passed a law some time ago regulating collection of fees by local government and proscribed idea of collecting revenue through unidentified individuals. If you are collecting revenue for a local government, you must have your identity and you must wear a uniform to know that you are accredited. There is nothing bad in local government helping some individual able-bodied youth who do not have job to collect revenue, but it must be in accordance with the law of the state and not using anybody who is not so employed, who is not assigned by the local government to collect it. The idea of towns collecting is not a good thing, because they will just do it anyhow, harass the operator, harass anybody who want to collect revenue from, and of course that is not too good for our system. So, Mr. Speaker, the bill is a good one, and I want to say that the motion is a good one, and the prayers actually capture what I think should be the way out to all these inadequacies in the way this set of people have been treated. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the motion is a very good one, and the prayers are okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sir.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Sir, let me again salute and congratulate you for all the time when there is need for us to meet the request and the agitation of our people. You always stand tall with us. I happen to be one of the members that received the operators of this courier service when they came to the house, and they came with all sorts of complaints which have been addressed by the motion on the floor. But of particular importance to me is the ease of doing business that this thing brings to the floor, and the reduction in cost of doing business to Nigerians at large. Talk about the employment side of it for active youth. However, one thing that I observed on that day was that among the documents they brought forth were a lot of fake documents, acting permits, roadworthiness, that purportedly they source from these local governments officials. In fact, there are some of them that came from, some of the document shows Taraba State, some shows Benue State. How come documents sourced in Taraba and Benue State are used in Lagos? I don't know. Even it is not limited to bike riders alone. If you look at our commercial vehicle, as for their roadworthiness, their acting permit, it shows Taraba State. At least they are fake documents and a loss of revenue to the state. I want to support this motion that we should get consultants to look into this and help the state so that we can get the required revenue that is due to the state. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Good afternoon, sir, and my fellow colleagues. I would like to appreciate the prime movers of this motion, as this is very important motion, critical to the viabilities of the business in our dear state. If we are complaining of high unemployment rate, we must not be seen to be killing the little available one. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is very sad to check that some of the riders of this Courier are graduates. Some even have master's degree holders. They are doing it because they are unable to secure a particular job. This is the situation that we find ourselves in our dear nation. Sir, there has been an heavy cry by operators of the Courier and logistic service within the state on the harassment and intimidations by the town who served to be the representative of the local government and local council development areas in the state. It is my humble opinion that revenue collection of the couriers and logistics service should be collected by the state government and shared to the local government and LSHA. We have a law in Lagos State where the Lagos State government is collecting revenues on behalf of the local government and share it monthly to them. A sample of it is land use charge and etc. In order to avoid multiple taxation, as rightly put by the majority leader, where a courier will be traveling from one local government to another and they will be collecting money from them. How much is left for them at the end of the month? We need to save them in order to encourage them to do the business. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Thomas.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to go in tandem with the earlier speakers in respect of this motion, and most especially when we are talking of 9th Post Act of 1992 and the amendments that the Senate were proposing, at least to ensure that the 9th Post did not only operate, regulate and operate at the same time. So the emergence of these courier services create jobs and make meals more faster to the end users. At the same time, sir, when you look at the transport sector's reform, as clearly stated in section 15, subsection 2B, that any vehicle that's going to be used as any motorcycle that's going to be used as a carrier service, for carrier services must be up to 200 cc. But Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, we must observe that some of these courier services too, are they living up to expectations? Are they doing fully what is expected of them? Local government were supposed to at least collect what we call rider permits. How do we know if they are collecting it? So the idea of using consultant to regulate,
So which one is rider permits?
rider permit, they used to give it to what do you call them?
I think the only thing that local government has to do with motorcycle is just registration, according to the constitution under the what is it called? Motorcycle registration, only registration. That is what I know. The registration of bicycle, motorcycle.
That's something else, sir. But can I go ahead, sir?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. What I'm just trying to say, sir, in as much as I believe that some of the local governments use staff, there are some of them too that employ the service of consultants. There are some of our people who are consultant to the local government before coming to this place. So what I'm saying in essence is we should not just say because these people are doing excesses, we like bar them. I agree that the state must use consultants to regulate, and if it's going to be a sticker that will be issued to them, the danger of not stopping them by the local government may not necessarily be helpful to the local government because of the revenue generation too. They are the closest to the grassroots. But I adopted the resolution, the suggestion of the committee of the mover of the motion. But at the same time, sir, we must at the same time look for ways not to throw the local government out in totality, because they too have the role to play as a arm of government. That's my kind of submission, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In lending my voice to this motion, which is a very vital one at the time we're in now, in terms of providing employment to the people, I would like to first of all state one observation in the resolution of this motion. The resolution 3, where it states information and strategy to enlighten operators of logistics services. I would like for it to include courier/logistics, because the NIFOS Act differentiates between courier and logistics. Courier are the ones that carry goods of 0.5 kg to 50 kg. Then logistics are the ones that do haulage 50 kg and above. So that, then also the earlier speaker spoke about riders permits. From my understanding, riders permit is issued by the Motor Vehicle Administration Agency, MVA, something like a driver's license for the riders. So if they don't have that, yes, you can be stopped for that. But I'm sure most of them, they have that. And I'm in support of what Honorable Majid said about centralizing the collection of the revenue for the local government. And there will be a sharing ratio, because all these courier and logistics companies, they have addresses. So you know the local government or LCDs they fall under. So you know how many are registered under this local government, under that local government. It will be in the system of probably the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. Because this multiple taxation that they're doing from local government to local government or LCDs is biting deep into the profit, the little profit margin that they have. Because some of these courier services, they charge as less as low as 1,000 naira in some cases. And even LSHA gives them multiple taxation sometimes, because apart from in the motion mentions branding permits, in some cases they also charge them mobile advert permits, meaning that every vehicle that will be moving around and has a logo and all that, there's a different charge for you. So I feel that this is a good motion. We don't need to crush this industry, because if this industry is crushed, it's going to affect the e-commerce industry, because the courier logistics company, their major customers are the e-commerce operators, the e-commerce people. When people buy and sell online, when you buy things and you are buying online because you cannot be there in person to buy, so you expect the goods to be delivered to you. The e-commerce company would engage the courier or the logistics company to deliver to you. So if you crush that part that the goods cannot be delivered, you have automatically crushed the e-commerce industry, which is of great concern, that is providing a lot of business opportunities. And this is what we have been saying. We are trying to improve our ease of doing business in Lagos State and Nigeria at large. So I'm in total support of the motion and the resolution as moved by the prime mover. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, and the prime mover of this motion. I would say the motion is very, very germane, is good, and I want to align myself with it. You all agree with me that Lagos State is the industrial hub of the nation, and and all the courier as well as logistic activities that we are witnessing in Lagos State, there is no way we will divorce the important duty that they are doing to the commercial activity of Lagos. I need to let us know that this particular motion, instead of, I'm going to particularly to talk about the local government involvement, we need to know that the consultants that the local government employ, as well as the local government official and party faithfuls and the residents of local government, they benefit from whatever they gain, from whatever they get at the end of the day. Instead of throwing the baby with the tube, I will proceed that we should regulate, Lagos State should regulate the activity of these local government officials. If you do this, it will go in a long way to provide employment for our people. Thank you, sir.
Your people are extorting people, and you should allow them to continue. Honorable Oshu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, sir. Without repetition, a lot has been said about the employment and everything. Mr. Speaker, we need to put it on record that these courier services at times charge as little as 1,000 naira to deliver some documents and some things, depending on the length, the size, depending on where they're taking it to. So if they are charging that low, and we're expecting them to pay this much at every point, what are we doing? But I want to just raise two issues. I was on Courier one day, and while a bike rider was trying to avoid these touts trying to catch him to pay money, he was actually knocked down on the road. And that has happened so many times. Number two, sir, most of our local government and LCDs have a section they call traffic sections. And we need to look at this holistically. It's not just about the dispatch riders, even the arrest vehicles too. And what they charge, even last mile VI will not charge. I've had calls to call so many local government. I've even called a good city one day, one day, when somebody was arrested in the mission and was asked to pay 70,000 naira. And for what? They said he moved up over a line, and for that he needs to pay 70k. Sir, we need to look at this. Yes, like Abuladi said, the laws are there to be obeyed. These riders must obey these laws. But the traffic section of our local governments we need to look into. Most of them are just food for the boys. And in the process, we go to the extreme in arresting, we go to the extreme in harassing our people. We go to the extreme, as soon as they bring a motor into their local government, the first thing they do is they make sure they deflate the 4 tires. So sir, I want us to look at it holistically. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, my colleagues too. I also want to add my voice on this particular motion, sir. I have even experienced this normally on the street, where you see the courier service providers and the riders, how they sometimes battle with the touts on the road. For me, sir, apart from the issue of them creating job opportunity for the teeming Lagosians, and when we also consider the period we are coming from in terms of COVID-19, people have lost a lot of jobs, people are out of sight. We find out that this is a kind of a new business stream that allow individuals to, and small companies to rise up and employ 1 or 2 people. But because of the issue of double taxation in particular, is actually killing this business. Like rightly suggested by one of my colleagues, who is now saying if it's possible for us to centralize it so that the resources or the income can be generated through a central means so that they can easily share and divide as per the local government concern. However, sir, even the exorbitant prices charged by these people, sometimes you see that the receipt they even issue out, sir, most of them are fake receipts. Those money are not actually accountable by the local government. So there is a lot to be done, especially by the Ministry of Transportation. I feel another way they can look at it, sir,
the Ministry of Transportation can also have a kind of parley with the local government officials so that they can reach a way out to resolve this problem, because this issue happens almost on daily basis on the road of Lagos. However, sir, I also want to use the opportunity to talk to the courier service provider, because some of them, especially the riders, they use walkway, sir. They use walkway. When the traffic is tight, you see them using walkway. That is, for me, is a big offense. Please, let them warn their riders to avoid using the walkway that are meant for pedestrians, sir. Based on that, sir, I support this motion. Thank you.
Honorable Satanju. The Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, I want to also commend the prime mover of this motion, because it has come at the right time. We are having serious economic challenges in this country, and the courier services has come to play a major role, a major and vital role in the economy. But the local governments are not seen in that way. We cannot overemphasize the issue of multiple levies and multiple taxes. There are so many miscreants on the road, from one local government to the other, that collect these taxes, just like my colleague have said. No, the receipt they give are fake. These revenues don't go to the local governments. So that means the system is encouraging touting. So, sir, I want to add my voice to this, that we must find a way to ensure that local governments limit themselves to what they're supposed to do. If you are riding a courier, bike, and you are crossing 5 local governments, and you have to pay each of the local governments, how much are you collecting? So, and they are playing a very vital role, sir. That's why I think we must, this motion is very apt at this time, and we have to make sure that we find a way so that the local government will stop stopping them, as long as they have already been recognized and approved for service. Thank God that the postal service have recognized them, and they have even increased their number in terms of patronage. So we must not, stifle this particular system, so that, because they are even helping the capital system in Lagos State. Ordinarily, we rely on vehicles to transport goods, especially postal things, from one place to another. But now know that this specialized courier services are doing that for us, and for local government to not stand as impediment to their service not good. So I want to support this motion, sir. Thank you.
Lastly, Honorable Saka.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and my colleagues. Let me commend the prime movers of this motion, and to start saying that the motion is a new method of sharing of distribution of goods and services. But then I think what we need to look at critically is the time of operation. We still see them around 10, 11 being carried their goods or with their riders, and without having the approvals of NIPOs. The approvals of the NIPOs must be pasted in their box and with the name of the courier service. So if this one can be done, I think it's very easy, and it will be very easy to do the enforcement. You will see, Mr. Speaker, you will see a rider having 2-3 people on a courier service rider's bike, and I wonder, because this law we made is just for riders and the box that is carried. Then the actual thing is that when people have studied, the honorable members have mentioned that we should centralize the collection of the tax. With what Honorable Fataya have said, I think is very good. Very good. The data that is made and only written under the Joint Tax Board that these particular items should be collected by the local government, but they can still do what they do in terms of land use charge and LSHA. If they can do that one, then it will not be double
pass. And it's also reduced the method of collection in the main road. You see them running after the courier service, and I think it's not the best. So another thing is that what I think we should do to join this motion is that they also measure the roadworthiness. The roadworthiness is not meant for courier service. It's meant for vehicles and those vehicles that carry loads. I have submitted myself for the.
I thank you for your contributions and support of this very important motion, and listening to the contributions. Somebody talked about ease of doing business in Lagos State, and about 2 or 3 days ago it was a newspaper, I can't actually mention the national daily, that was reporting a survey carried out by a body and placed Lagos at the 3rd place behind some northern states. At the 3rd place. I'm sure things of this nature actually contribute to such position, and it is very important for us to do something about it before it gets out of hand. Talking about local government, that's the role they play in harassing people, extorting people. In fact, it is clear in the Constitution, the fourth schedule of the Constitution 1999 as amended, that even local government has no role to play in the activities of either motorcycle, tricycle, and any other thing. Its power is limited to bicycle and cable. So we have to do something about this. We have to make them understand their role. Going now to disrupt well-planned and organized business that stands to create employment for our youths at the time we have been agitating over unemployment. The rates that youths are coming out of school without something to engage in, and now opportunities open, and we have doubts at the local government level disrupting such opportunity. And the revenue, it brings into the cover of Lagos State. We talk about the revenue we are going to generate, and now it reduces congestion on our road. If everybody has to move from one location to another to deliver one item, I think about what we have on the road. So we have to think about the benefits. We have to think at the way it reduces poverty, in the society, to ensure that we put this in proper shape. Where local government has nothing to do with the registration, and even with the registration of their motorcycle, their tricycle, and registration of such activities within the state. So I see no reason why they should put stouts on the road, as observed by majority leader coming from Agege to Lagos Island. Look at the numbers of local government you have to pass through. So are we saying there must be kind of charge for each local government? You have to pay certain amount at the local government, 1 local government, 2 local government, 3. And when you look at what they charge, the courier before they deliver, how much do they charge? So what is going to be left at the end of the day when you have to face all these local government touts along the road to your destination? So I'm in support of this motion, but I have reservation about the prayers. Local governments and community affairs to look into the allegation of extortion, harassment, rider, logistics services, and networking for local government. Now that local government has no role to play, so what do we do about this? Do we still go ahead, or we direct the motion to local government and LSHA, informing them of the limitation as to the role, the activities of the courier services in Lagos State, the information and strategy to enlighten operator of logistics service, local government and local council. I think we have to remove local government, anything local government in this motion, except where we agree that we should call on local government and the LCDA. Henceforth, they should stop, harassing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I feel we can still leave the issue of local government community affairs. Mr. Speaker, though we are dealing with courier services and logistics, but collection of levies, what levy? Tout, any levy at all. Even market levy, they still use tout, they still use this.
Okay, we are not generalizing, that means we are not generalizing, we are not limiting it to the
Yes, sir, yes, I agree with you. So we just realize that local government should speak with the Ministry of Local Government Affairs should speak with local government councils to desist from using touts in collection of levies, levies in the area.
You've not gotten my message. Why do we have to route our message through Ministry of Local Government? Well, the House can directly call on the officials of local government and SCB to desist from such extension.
Okay, then I agree with you.
Honorable Osho.
I agree with that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The issue of local government, like I said, I don't think we should remove them. It's not about really just the backriders. Their traffic section, they are using it to extort Lagosians. So we need to write to them about their traffic section. That traffic section in all the local governments is being used for extortion. Although, like we all agree, mostly they are given to touts or to boys. And the boys feel that it's an avenue for them to feed. So in most cases, they go out of their way, they lure, even motorists, they lure them to commit something and they start harassing them. So if we are not limiting it to just the bike now, but the traffic section of every local government, even if they need to have the bike traffic section, it should be monitored and maybe controlled better, not given to boys for boys to eat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to directly to your observation. I don't think we need to go through the local government. We have done it before, Mr. Speaker.
Through which local government?
Through the Ministry of Local Government. Mr. Speaker, we have done it before. It's just a matter of calling the heads of the local government, the head of local government, then the chairman of local government administration can just read the resolution of the House to them directly. That one will have impact on them rather than going through the officials of the Ministry of Local Government. I think we have done it and it was so effective by that very time. I think it's what we can do.
Thank you. Well, we don't want to start going short and back on this matter. We will call directly on all the local governments and SADA on that, and also we use information and strategy to enlighten operators of local government development executive on relevant provision of the. So we can, on that prayer number 3, we can remove the local government from that. Local government and Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command to ensure that extortion and theft, knowing the each full operation of the courier and logistic services. So, so we keep number 1, then number 2 will be redrafted. Number 3 will remove local government, anything that has to do with the local government, and then we'll retain number 4. Honorable Sami, are you with us on this?
Yes, sir. So, this house resolves to also that local government and the local council development area.
No, you start from resolves.
Okay. Resolves to call on Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State, to direct the Commissioner for Transportation and other relevant agencies to ensure that riders of courier and logistics services are not harassed by extortionists and touts in the discharge of their activities once they have complied with the terms and guidelines initiated by the local government.
By the state government.
By the state government, rather. 2, local government
the House
to call on the local government and LCDA to desist forthwith the use of tout for revenue collection whatsoever.
No, not only tout, desist. Totally, not all about the tout only.
The House to call on the local government and LCDA to desist forthwith the indiscriminate and extortion of the public on revenue collection whatsoever. Information and strategy to enlighten operators of courier and logistics services on relevant provision of extant laws regulating courier and logistics services in the state. In order to boost the economy and provide employment in the state and ease of doing business. 4. The Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, to ensure that extortionists and touts hindering each free operation of courier and logistics services are apprehended and made to face the wrath of the law. I so move.
I think the number 2 is not well couched, and you have left out the issue of traffic, local government traffic activities on the road as well. That the local government and the LCDA should desist from harassment, extortion, and impoundment of bicycles of the couriers and logistics services, and also to restrain the traffic department from impounding vehicles within their local government areas.
From doing so. Okay. Number 2, sir. That the local government and community affairs
That local government
should desist.
Local government and LCDA.
That local government and LCDA should desist from harassment, extortion, and impoundment of the motorcycle of the courier and logistics services, and restrain the traffic department of the local government and LCDA from doing so. I so move.
Okay. 1 second.
Yes, second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask to second the motion as moved.
All in favor say aye. Those against no, the ayes have it. Mr. Clerk, kindly direct our result to appropriate content. Majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, owing to the importance of the 2 bills which letters have just been read, I wish to crave your indulgence to move that the bill for a law to provide for the establishment of the University of Education Lagos UNEDLAG and for connected purposes be read for the first time. I so move.
Honorable Tijani.
Let's to second the motion as moved.
All in favor say aye. Those against no, the ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, sir. Distinguished honorable members, it is a great honor to read for the first time University of Education Lagos Bill 2021. Thanks, sir.
Majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, I crave indulgence to move that a bill for a law to provide for the establishment of Lagos University of Science and Technology to make provisions for its powers, functions, and general administration and for connected purposes be read for the first time. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion as moved.
All in favor say aye. Those against, no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, sir. Distinguished honorable members, it is a privilege to read for the first time the Lagos State University of Science and Technology Bill 2021. Thanks.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, we have come to the end of today's proceeding, and with the kind permission of Mr. Speaker, I wish to move that this House adjourns till Thursday, the first day of July at 10 o'clock. I so move. Thursday is 1st July. Move that the House adjourns till Thursday, 1st July at 10 o'clock. I so move.
Honorable Tijani.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion as moved.
Before the questions, there will be a short meeting immediately after sitting. All in favor say aye. Those against, no. The ayes have it. This House stands adjourned till Thursday, 1st July 2021 at 12 noon prompt. Aye.